Okay, I'm just leaving my hotel here. I finally got my gimbal after checking like 12 different stores in at least 3 different countries. These things have been hard to find, just supply chain stuff, I guess. I'm in Berlin, so I'm going to be just walking to get some lunch, and I figured I'd show you what it's like on the way. I think that's probably the best way for me to do these videos, instead of trying to put together some kind of fancy compilations of what I'm doing each day. Just showing you, this little walk or this little attraction. And I actually have something cool for this one, because as I walk out of my hotel here, we got like a train station over there on the right, and I turn left and boom, there's the Berlin Wall. This is the East Side Gallery, and so this is where they've kept a portion of the wall up and have commissioned artworks basically painted along the east side. So the side I'm standing on is the former East Berlin side. So this was the communist side, and you can see that it just stretches on and on that way with lots of works of art. So we'll take a look while I walk to lunch. I don't even know how to approach this because there's just so much. It's not even like, a couple of art pieces. I mean, I don't even know how many this must be, but it looks like it goes on for, literally as far as I can see right now, which is pretty amazing. But, so I assume, you know a bit about the wall here, but most of it doesn't exist anymore. Most of it's been torn down, but they've left it up, I think, in 3 different places, and this one is, I believe, the most intact and the longest. I saw another portion of the wall, and it was essentially, it was pretty much crumbled and decrepit because over the years people had been taking pieces of the wall to sell to tourists and stuff, and now that's banned. Now it's left as a historical landmark. So they actually have a fence around that piece of the wall, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so this is pretty cool, just to be, step out of my hotel and boom, here I am. This is my walk to lunch in the morning. And I believe most of these are commissioned. I don't know if there's any sections. I believe there's sections somewhere where anyone can come and do art, but I'm not 100% sure. I think these ones, like, it would be graffiti if a new artist came and did anything. I think this is kind of left as is. Not 100% sure though. And it's been interesting. I've spent most of my time the last few days on the former east side of Berlin, and it's kind of cool. Like, I was staying in a building that, like, I'm 90% sure was built by the Soviets in East Berlin. It doesn't even have to be too old to have been built by the Soviets. It was pretty cool just to look out the window and kind of have the view more or less how it would have been, because it was kind of into the parking lot of this building and stuff. So that was neat. Obviously these ones are looking quite a bit newer. And I wonder if I should just keep the camera on for you, or if I should cut out until I see something interesting. Well, this is all interesting, but this is a famous piece. This car crashing through the wall. I think this one and the 2 guys kissing are the most famous paintings from the wall. I'm not sure why this one is so famous, to be honest, but I've seen it on postcards everywhere, and you may have seen it before. It's cool. And the wall was built iteratively? Is that the word? In iterations over the years. It got taller and taller, and they added this thing to make it harder for people to climb over. And obviously, the wall itself was not the main barrier. It was there were basically 2 walls for most of the stretch around West Berlin, and there were guard towers and guns and sometimes landmines and everything, so it was mostly the death strip in between the walls that was the real challenge to cross. And I believe about 5,000 people over the decades of the existence of the wall actually managed to escape over the wall, which is not a lot considering that it was decades. But I think only, I should look up the exact numbers. I think it was in like less than 200 who were actually killed on the wall, because the Soviets did make effort to capture people, and I think the charge was 5 years in prison for attempting escape, just because of the optics of actually killing people on the wall. But they would totally, they were told to shoot on sight as a last resort, and they did. They also had auto-firing guns and literally landmines, so pretty tragic stuff. But yeah, it looks like on this side it's just kind of free graffiti zone on the west side, which is almost kind of symbolic that on this side anyone can do anything. On the other side it's all commissioned and regulated. Very, very cool. So I'm going to keep walking here. I'm just walking until I hit a bridge on my right and crossing, because there's some good restaurants over there I want to check out. Mercedes-Benz. Dad, you might be interested in that. I don't know. This you see all over Europe and honestly Latin America too, this A here. So obviously we got the hammer and sickle crossed out, but the A is for anarchy. It's the anarchists. Not honestly sure what their views are besides anarchy. But there you go, you see that everywhere. Quite a bit of graffiti here. Oh, that's culturally sensitive. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of graffiti in Berlin. A lot of street art that's commissioned street art, some really beautiful pieces. A lot of like tagging and graffiti that's not commissioned. Some of it, is beautiful. Some of it kind of depends on your views of graffiti / street art, whether you think it adds or detracts. This, I don't agree with at all, taking another artist's work and putting your own tags over it. I think that's messed up, but sometimes I think it actually is quite pretty. Man, oh yeah, this just keeps going. Yeah, this must be the longest section, because this is pretty incredible. I wonder where the painting of the guys kissing is. I'd love to see that. And I guess since it looks like there's quite a little walk here, and I don't know how long it's going to be, I guess I'll stop filming and then I'll pop back in here if I see something particularly notable. It's really cool walking along the original wall here, because in the US and anywhere else in the world that I've found sections of the wall, but mostly I've seen them in the US, wherever I come across a section of the wall, for whatever reason, for the last, who knows how many years, I've always made a point to take a picture and kind of spend some time near the section of the Berlin Wall, wherever they've been, because obviously many pieces have been shipped around the world. I just saw one in DC like 2 weeks ago, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I have lots of pictures of myself near sections of the wall, and so this is my first time near the real thing. You can kind of see these lines separating the individual pieces. So my total sections scene count has just multiplied by probably a couple thousand, but increased by a couple thousand, whatever it would be. Wow, look at this view. Got a riverfront here. It's beautiful. And so again, east side, west side. There's definitely some places where you can see kind of the difference in the buildings, but here it looks pretty modern either way, so I don't think there's a major difference. Oh wow, there's a huge Mercedes-Benz complex. I wonder if that's their corporate headquarters or what, or if that's, oh no, okay, yeah, it's just an arena that's sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. And they have their actual building, it seems, right there. Very cool. Let's see, can we see? Yeah, okay. We can see it from here. The TV tower. See that big old tower in the distance here? So that, it's funny, was actually built in East Berlin by the communist government here. And it was built kind of to prove that they could build Western style, modern buildings and transmit TV and everything, kind of as a big screw you, look at us to the west, because obviously you could see that from many points in Berlin. But it was designed in the west. It was, I think, in Denmark. I'm not 100% sure if Denmark is correct, but it was designed by Westerners in a Western country and then just built in the east by communist workers. So kind of ironic. But it's really cool because I went and spent some time around there. Maybe I'll be back around there and film for you. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a neat building, and you can go up and have an awesome view, which I haven't done, so I should do that and film. But and I've actually one section of the wall that was in LA, I climbed over, which I don't know, was kind of fun to do. I don't know if here that would be culturally insensitive or not, but at the time I was like, oh, this is so cool, I just climbed the Berlin Wall. Alright, a lot more walking here, so again, I'm gonna jump out and I'll jump back in if I see something interesting. And boom, something interesting. Here it is. I imagine the most famous. This is the one that certainly best known to me. It's the Fraternal Kiss, I believe it's called. And I'm sure you've seen this before. Apparently, this is a painting of a real photo. And I just learned this while I've been in Berlin. This was something that communist leaders actually did. Usually not as intensely, but they would come up and kiss each other as supposedly a sign of equality and brotherhood or something like that. I had no idea. It seems, a little weird by my cultural standards, but it's funny because apparently, I think this is Brezhnev, the Soviet president, leader, whatever you call him, and there's a picture where I guess he was particularly passionate with his fraternal kisses. So look up the real photo. This is not much of an exaggeration. It's slight, but not much. And it's pretty funny because I always thought this was ironic. This was just completely imaginary, and it was, some kind of making fun of them. But nope, this is real. So there you go. Fraternal kiss. Get some footage of myself just to prove I was here. There it is. That's fun. I guess with that, that was the thing I was most excited to see here along the wall. So I'm probably pushing, 10 minutes or so here in this video. So I guess I'll close it out. I think this is probably the best way for me to do these. Now that I've got my gimbal. Just to do, this will take pretty much no editing. I'll just splice together the bits that I have, and it won't be the fanciest thing in the world, but you get to see some of what I'm seeing while I travel around. So hopefully you like it, and let me know if you do, and because this is easy for me without trying to do all the fancy editing. So everyone back home, love you guys, love you mom and dad. I don't know if anyone else is going to watch these besides you, so Hope you enjoyed, and I'm enjoying Berlin, and excited for you guys to see it in person someday. But for now, hopefully you can enjoy it vicariously. Love you, and talk to you soon. Bye.